Right.
Madume, everybody. Kalina Kgomotso, sales manager by profession. I've been in sales for 15 years. I've been in the RTM space for about 11 years. I'm 33, so this means I started mad young. I have had a clothing business for the past 4 years now, going on 4 years. Very excited. It's my first time here. Big fan of morale. Very interested to hear what AB has to share. I also have stories and insights from my journey as well. Thank you so much for the time. I'm appreciative. I'm a hip hop fan, Morale. Since high school, since boom bap, I'm a hip hop purist. And as a hip hop purist, you know how they are. The pants sag, the sneakers are big, and you can't tell them anything. But I was thinking about it as a hip hop entrepreneur. Hip hop songs are tied to labels, and they tend to be less successful than the songs that are coming out via ads, via social media, the songs that are going viral. Can we make that point? So I was thinking about like the album sales versus what you're getting from the business. Looks like it would be better for you to be within the music business as opposed to being a musician or an artist. That's the point that hit home for me the most, and that's what made me chuckle the most. It ties into my business. And Mulebogeng, I don't know if you were done, Moral, but I want us to go back to the original question, because I think now I know what kind of questions to ask, and I think I know now what I want from AB as well as Moral, as well as you in this conversation. Thank you, guys, for the time. I believe as a business person, I'm still very young. I believe my business is still very small. So as it pertains to the brand conversation, I'd like to tell the story of Tsamtseng. It's a side hustle that I started when I was working in the retail industry. I was working at a suit store. And as a human being, I like solutions. I like being solution orientated, connecting people, solving small problems. So at this particular suit store, you would have customers come in with like specific requests. Can you put tradition in the lining? Can you make me a waistcoat from my father's jacket type thing? So that evolved into a custom wear business. And we were doing well. We were doing very well. We were not on social media. We were relying on word of mouth. Blog was started, website was started, and we were moving in a positive trajectory as far as small businesses in the country were moving until COVID hit. And then as a business, I had to pivot. As the head of the business, I had to think about an idea to pivot, an idea to still stay relevant. So when the business started, I was dealing with people that were in corporate. These people were mentoring young people, and fairly young myself. I was looking at the young people and what they were wearing. Started off with hoodies. Then it evolved into sweat tops, then a t-shirt, then a mask, then a hat. So currently the business is at a point where I'm doing TikTok videos for the sake of visibility, and I'm researching the right hashtags to use on TikTok when you're posting your videos. And I'm also exposing my brand, my clothing, to artists in the area that I grew up in. I mean, one of the artists' name is Nell Beats. He goes by T Vision now. He's bought some of my merch. I'm like, encouraging people to like, wear it in your videos. You want me to like your stuff? Wear it in the videos. Wear it in the videos. Also, like I said, I'm a hip hop purist, so it's going to be difficult to have me in an Amapiano video. But I would love my clothing to be there. And I would love my clothing to be all over social media. So I'm looking into strategies like, identifying certain influencers on TikTok and then sending them like a gift pack for Christmas, and then just asking them to do an unboxing experience video on the gram, on TikTok, and use that, leverage off of that by selling clothes. As a business, currently, we are developing a digital footprint. The next step is things like Internet 3.0, cryptocurrency. The next phase is learning and development, like teaching people how to sell. The final stage, and this is where I'm like super villain stage. I want to own the means of production. So like from a farming perspective, the means of processing. So like from planting the cotton to making it a sheet, to making it a shirt, to putting print on the shirt, to it being on a website, and then till a customer receives that item. That's like the long-term vision of the brand that is Tsamtseng, or my vision rather for the brand that is Tsamtseng. So gents, I would love insights. Like we could talk about whatever, gents. Like I would love insights. I want, you see, so when people say they must go, I reka Tsamtseng ya Armani. That's what I want. That's what I want. The only thing I want to add is this thing is a lot of work. Okay? It's a lot of work to it's producing to. So give you guys an example. I struggle to record one song a month. So when I hear that somebody has 20,000, you know what I'm saying? It's the work, bro. It's the work. If we're talking sports, it's waking up at 4 a.m. to gym. It's doing the extra kilometer, guys. And I'm a person who puts a lot into the stuff that I do right now. So yes, I do have an attitude when my brand is brought up in any form of conversation. I try and steer the conversation into whatever the conversation may be. It has to be, my brand needs to be associated with being solution orientated. And that's because I put in a lot of work into making sure that the brand is visible, the brand is accessible as well. If I seem arrogant doing it, people used to, like back in the day, like in the 90s and whatnot, I'm pretty sure celebrities had like huge scandals that if there was social media, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, people get famous, and I guess now we're going into the cancel culture conversation, but people will get famous for just doing the wrong things and doing the worst things. As it pertains to brands, there's shying away from it is the worst thing that you can do. Ignoring whatever negative publicity you have is the worst thing you can do, because then you have no control over the narrative. So AB mentioned something that I used to do in the food store. Hey, I'm sorry, the suit is too small, the pants ripped. This sort of thing doesn't happen. We normally source the best cotton from where. So here's another one. In fact, buy this as well. Type thing. You need to be able to take the negative and find a way to grow from there, especially on social media, because that could be your next viral moment. That could be the next move that catapults you even further. You know? You can't pour from an empty cup, so you can't. You first need to ensure that you have mastered what you want people to know you for, or what you want to be renowned for first. And then you can look at different ways of encouraging people into being entrepreneurs, going into the whatever industry you will be working in. It starts first with the brand. Make sure that the brand is as established and renowned as possible before you now want to start hosting charity events. And I feel like that's the important thing, to always keep things niche. This is how it's easy for you to separate from one element of the business to another. People that I try and model my business after are Ralph Lauren, who wasn't the designer. He was just model. He was just wearing jeans with his model friends, and that evolved into a business. AB, I was laughing when you were speaking. Did you know that Hugo Boss originally did the uniforms for the Nazis in World War II?
What?
Hugo Boss. You know the clothing brand Hugo Boss?
Yeah.
They used to do the uniforms for Nazis, for the German soldiers.
Even Levi's. Levi's used to be like your factory clothing. That's how they make the mark in the industry, and then they ventured into consumer goods.
100%, 100%. So, if you have something specific and small that you're doing, and you're able to grow it to the point where you're making sums of money from it, and you're attracting opportunities from it, because it's so niche, it should be easy for you to say, "Oh, okay, I also do this," or "Oh, okay, now we are here." 48 laws of power call it reinvention. Must always be able to reinvent yourself more. Firstly, I agree with the gents 110%. I agree more so with 80 because he just spoke. But you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Let's start there as a point of departure. A lot of businesses fail because of lack of consistency. Because I got the low-hanging fruit last week, and now I don't see any fruit on this level, so I don't want to aspire for more. You've got to get started, and you've got to consistently grow from there. I mean, my favorite challenge was the financial one. The reason why my business was started was I was working in a suit store. I believed I was managing one of the best sales teams in the mall. And I just felt like the gents and I weren't getting paid enough. So I then went out I then set about, registering a business and ensuring that, I register a domain as well. And we get the ball rolling. I am not at the point where I can maybe get designs from a friend and produce them, but I do have a website now. And we can take pictures that people do. So this is advice to people that want to start within clothing and whatnot. I love what Skanda is doing. I love what there's 2 street brands that are very, very prominent right now. Also, giving respect to brands like Blockchain Culture as well as Bhutan, there has to be more of us. There is no reason why we are still wearing Versace. There is no reason. In my honest and subjective opinion, I believe there is a lot of money to be made the smart way, and we would all benefit if everybody at least had an idea of getting into the clothing or fashion business. I feel like it would create a better fashion industry if we all in one way, in one shape or form, try and enter. I mean, for me, I don't want to do this for long. As I said in the intro, I want to move into production. As I said in my intro, I want to move into things like cryptocurrency and Ethereum. Internet 3.0. So you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started. And once you get started, be consistent. That's it for me.